Okay, so hey, this is another IRFTW looking at some weird tech thing video, and today it is the RTX 3080, as you can see, well, on your screen. So, leak of the cooler, as you can obviously see, from chip hell user Wajiru Jiaru, or It Is My Tree. Put link to the post. I can't really read Japanese. But this has some weirdness to it. So up here, that's obviously probably the top of the card, and this is probably the back plate. If you know anything about graphics cards, this back plate looks weird, mainly because it has a fan in it. Why would you have a fan in a back plate? And you can tell it's the back plate because, well, that PCB kind of looks like it's at the bottom of the two slots, and that's normally how things are done. So, fan going through the card. Okay, NVIDIA has had holes in their PCBs in the past. Think GTX 480, GTX 295, GTX 285, I think. There was a few back then, but mainly they haven't done it in like most of a decade. So one fan through the card, which is kind of shows here in this area, that's kind of the end of the PCB. And that's okay. It's a bit weird that you'd have a short PCB on a 30 series card, but I don't know, you're NVIDIA, you do weird stuff in your reference cards. But then you have a second fan here on the front plate that's blowing straight into not being able to vent anywhere. Kind of weird. And also, you have a giant fin array here where this fan would be blowing to, so I don't know what you're doing. They do seem to have a NV-Link connection in this area, which, hey, that's good to see that they're still supporting multi-GPU. But, hey, where's the power? Like, this entire area, which is normally where you'd see like a couple 8-pin connectors, no power. Like, what are they doing? You need to give power. It's an 80 series card. These are expected to be high performance. And unless they're suddenly like, hey, maybe Ampere or Hopper or whatever they're calling this is able to produce 2080 Ti 20 RTX Titan level performance at 75 watts, because you can only get 75 watts out of that. Like, that's how much of a PCIe connector that actually is able to deliver power. The rest of that is data, and a couple of kind of useless grounds that are for data, and clock. Like, that's all they're for. So, I don't think this is a low power thing, and you can see that they have quite a few because they have, well, another one up there, and hey, that's like, really, you've got at least 3 of them, and none of them have a power connector? Okay, but it's mostly this fan going through into this array, like fin array. Also bent fins, that seems expensive, but what do I know? So, as you can see, here's just the back plate version. And big fan, graphics card ends. So that fan is pretty much taking up the entire space. So either they're doing like they did on the RTX 2060 with the power connectors on extension cables so that they'd be at a normal space while having a short PCB, which is expensive to produce and a pain to service and didn't work very well and just a royal pain, which, as they've shown, they're willing to do. But then they have fins kind of in over here, which is why? Like, come on, you have fins around the thing, but it's a like sealed edge fan. Like, you don't see these fans very often because, well, I mean, they do get better performance, it's just they're heavier and harder to make. So you don't see a closed edge fan because you have a housing around it. Like, even NVIDIA doesn't do that, but obviously apparently they are. And here's the face of the card, where you see another one of those fans, but it's in the opposite location because rotate the card over. And I would assume that the core is kind of here, which, sure, can have a core there. That's where the other fan is, so dual axial fans blowing down, sure. And then just vent through solid metal, because normally you have heat going up the top or out the bottom, and yeah, we can be pretty sure that the bottom, well, actually sending air out the bottom just doesn't work because that's a PCB, that's the motherboard. So either they have venting going out these side strakes, and I mean, they did do that with the GTX 295 dual PCB. It did have side strakey cooling fans to kind of go at the top and out the back panel because, God, that was a weird card. It's great, I love it. But they have them going up and down, so sure, you could be doing that. And 2 fan coolers. Don't know what this one's doing. It just seems weird. And no power sources. This blue color, it is just the plastic covering that you get on metal. It's there to stop it getting scratched when handling and machining and stuff. And also these red tabs are just to remove it. But they are keeping the RTX branding, but that's a lot of fins on a card, and I don't think it'll work very well at cooling. But wait and see. This is, of course, early leaks, unless they're planning on launching in the next couple months, but it does look like they have a bit of an assembly line going, so see how it is. IR_FTW, signing off. See you in the next one next time, that is.